Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my top stock picks for January 18th through the 22nd. Before we get started, just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor, not recommending that you buy any of the stocks that I'm talking about today. This is for entertainment purposes only. You should always do your own research. This is basically what I plan on doing. So I just want to give some people some information in case you guys are following the channel. And also, just a quick reminder that Monday, January 18th, the stock market will be closed in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So you want to take advantage of that, and it gives you an extra day of preparation for the week ahead. So before we dive into next week, I want to just talk about what happened this past week. So I made my first stock pick video last Sunday, and my picks were SRPT and Twitter because both of them had gotten beat down and were undervalued territory. I talked about my dip buys were GNOG and ZNOG, and also new possible entries were GHIV. So first off, let's go over SRPT and what happened. So on Monday morning, it actually ran up and got all the way up to 15%. So you could have taken profits right here at 95.05. But what happened shortly after, it dropped down again and kind of got beat down to basically where it started over the next couple of days before running up again on Friday. I think it finished at about $91 and some change on Friday after hours and everything. So if you still, if you were here, you could have went ahead and just took profits now off the table if you'd liked. But if you didn't and you held on to it, then you probably saw that it dipped down. But it is going to climb back up probably to this price point next week. So if you do still have it and you didn't cash out and you're kind of concerned that it didn't hit that on this week, just know that sometimes these swings take a little bit longer to play out. So if you do still hold it and you want to hit a certain price target of 95 or above, then that should be coming either next week or the following, because it is still in undervalued territory. So we take a look at the 180-day 4-hour. As you see last week, like I was telling you, this thing dropped over 50% and lost a lot of value. So if you'd have got in anywhere here, then you could have rode it up to about 95. As you see, it got rejected at that key resistance level here. And we did cross over and we saw a little bit of green. It looks like it's starting to kind of lose momentum, which it didn't really have much. But if you can look here, we're still at a pretty significantly low level on the fib level, and even we're close to undervalued territory. So even if this starts selling off again, you could see that it dropped below that 30% mark and create another possible buying opportunity to swing it back up to $90. It may just kind of go back and forth from mid 80s to mid 90s and mid 80s and mid 90s before it gets some type of good news come out and send it back towards that SMA line. So if you are a little concerned about it taking so long and kind of going back and forth, and you do have profit, then go ahead and take profit off the table and let's move on to a new one, because this one is not moving as fast as you thought. So kind of your decision if you want to wait it out. I mean, if it busts above that 98.03 mark, then you have some more room for potential upside if you want to hold it for that long. But just keep in mind, these slower moving plays that aren't performing, sometimes it's better just to get out of them and move on to the next one, because you can miss out on some money just waiting around and holding on these snail stocks. Next one we talked about was Twitter, ticker symbol TWTR, and this one ran a little bit on Monday and then eventually got beat down again. And if you remember, we talked about basically they banned the president from Twitter, and everyone got pretty upset and just kind of started leaving the platform, and so this caused the value of the stock to dip down. And like I said, it was in undervalued territory. It popped back out, popped back in, popped back out. Now it's back in, I believe, but it's going to pop eventually back and gain some momentum. So this one here, if you did get it, then I would just hang on to it and just wait for it to maybe pop, like 10% or so, and then kind of bounce out, because it looked like Facebook did the same thing. Facebook got beat down. It took a little bit of time, but it popped back up like they normally do. So, but it's still just a lot of uncertainty for this stock particularly. Literally, the only thing that attracted me to this particular stock was because it was in undervalued territory. I use Twitter. I follow people on Twitter and everything, but I don't actually, I'm not in love with the company. This isn't something that I'm in for the long term. So any type of profit that you can get, take it off the table, like I said, and just move on with your life. So as you can see here on the charts on Twitter, it's right at that key support level of about $45, and it's in undervalued territory. So it still creates a buying opportunity. However, like I said, it's really uncertain, because if it busts through this key support level, then you're going to see more downside. So you might want to kind of wait and see how it plays out. If you haven't taken a position and you are going to take one, then just see if you can get a little bit of price action, maybe get a green candle, close above that EMA line, and maybe take your position there and see if you can ride it up. And then when it gets closer to that 50 level, that key resistance would be a good sell point. Okay, and the next thing we talked about was potential entry in GHIV, which is merging through a SPAC deal, and it's happening on Wednesday, January 20th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, so 8 a.m. Central Time. So basically, this one didn't have a lot of action. Again, I was talking about maybe getting an entry in the 12s, which it did stay in the 12s, and there's really not much happening with it as of yet. I'm going to keep an eye on it moving into Wednesday, and I'm going to try to listen in on the call to see if they do happen to pass the merger. It's going to basically come down to shareholder votes, which can go either way. So just like with LCA and GNOG, if there's not enough votes, merger won't pass and they won't seal the deal. But if it does, then this can potentially see the stock see a rise in value, at least for that day. So it's something to keep an eye on. If the merger gets pushed through, you can maybe hop in and ride the spike up. Overall outlook is, my original plan was to get in, hold it to about 20, and then bounce out there. But one thing to remember, on January 20th is the inauguration of Joe Biden. So this actually might be kind of overlooked. So if you do get in and it doesn't see an initial spike right away, then just keep in mind that you have, bigger things going on than just the stock. So I do believe that it is a good buying opportunity at this price. But let's look at the charts. That way you can make a better educated decision as well on where you would like to get in if you are going to get in. So we're looking here. This is the 4-hour, 180-day. So my key support level, 1207. Key resistance level, 1261. So if we bust through that 1261 and we hold support, then that would be a good sign of price strength. Again, we're still trading below that EMA line, so we could see some potential for downside, but 1207 would be your key support. A good sign here is we see a doji candle, so usually that shows a potential sign of a reversal. So maybe we can see a bullish pattern come up, but we got to pay attention to the MACD as well, because the further away these lines are from each other, remember, the bigger the pattern that's happening at that particular time. Okay, guys, so my picks that I'm watching for January 18th through the 22nd. Remember, January 18th, the market is closed, so you would be able to buy on the 19th. So first one is CLNE, Clean Energy Fuels. And basically, this stock was on my radar a long time ago, and I did a couple of swing trades on it when it was in the $1 and $2. And with Joe Biden being inaugurated on Wednesday, I think that this is going to send this stock flying. I think any type of clean energy, EV, sector stocks, I think they're going to go kind of crazy just because of the fact that it's official, Biden's in office. I mean, and he's big on clean energy and electric vehicles, so I think that people are going to pile into these stocks. So looking to buy clean energy possibly on Tuesday, depending on how it acts on that day. And then NEO as well, which is an EV company. We talked about that midweek. I released a video on how they got downgraded and they were due for a pullback. Well, we got the pullback, so I'm going to keep an eye close on exactly how it acts over those next couple of days to see if we see potential for more downside, or we're going to have a reversal and see some more upside. So let me look at the charts and tell you kind of my game plan moving forward with these two. So here is CLNE, Clean Energy Fuels Corporation. Okay, so as you can see here, this was after, a couple weeks after the election. This stock, started running up and continuously has been running up, and it hit new all-time highs at 1188. And if you watch any of my other videos, you know that that always kind of makes me nervous buying at new all-time highs. But in this particular situation, if once Joe Biden gets inaugurated, I do think it's going to send it higher, guys, to more about the $15-16 range. So let's look at our key support and resistance levels. Support here is at 950, and our key resistance is at 1188. That was a new all-time high. So it is still in a bearish pattern. As you can see on the MACD, we're still selling off. We're heading towards undervalued territory. And if we bust through that 950 mark, we can see it go as low as about $8, $8.03. I would like to see it actually go that low, maybe on Tuesday. Maybe it'll dip below, but possibly people may come in and start buying, on the Tuesday in anticipation to the inauguration. So we got to keep a close eye on that. We don't want to miss, these good entry points here. If we start seeing kind of a sign of a reversal, or if it bounces off of this key support level, that's a healthy sign of price strength. So what it may do is just kind of bounce up and down off of this support level until the inauguration happens. And if it's important to keep track of the news as well, because if something happens from Monday to Wednesday, then that could, any type of catalyst where Trump does anything to, possibly mess up the inauguration for any, particular reason, then this stock's going to dip just because, it's basically a Biden administration play at this point. So just keep an eye on it. Like I said, I think this one's going to bust through 1188 and go to the $15 to $16 mark. That would be a good sell point for myself. Okay, next up is NEO, ticker symbol NIO, and we talked about this again. We made a video whenever the article came out talking about they got downgraded and that their price target was set at $68. So when I made the video, we were probably about here. Okay, we had just hit all-time highs, and as you see, we started kind of just trading sideways, and eventually we started selling off. We are in a bearish pattern still at this point, and we're close to undervalued territory. Our key support level is 51.88, and I would like to see it get closer to that mark and bounce up before taking an entry. I want to see basically this gray line turn to blue on my RSI, and then that would be a really, really good entry point as long as it bounces off of the support level. For any reason that they get more negative news, then you just want to pay attention to that, make sure it doesn't bust below that, because you can see potential for more downside. But I don't see it getting lower than about $50, and and bouncing off of that key support level. Your resistance would be 66.99. Again, price target was only set at 68, so I would probably get in and ride it up to closer to the $70 range, and see how it plays out, because there may the thing about these companies too is there may be another article come out on Monday saying that another analyst raised the price target to $80. So in that case, it's going to go crazy. And again, I think that if once the inauguration happens, I think regardless of what the price target is, I think it may bust through 68 and go higher. Because if you've been keeping up with Tesla, Tesla has some price targets that have gotten, just demolished, and people just don't seem to care about them. So, but, definitely have a plan of action of what you want to get in at, what would be a good take profit for yourself. And if you're in it for the longer term, then you can always set a stop loss behind, a trailing stop loss. Basically, as the stock moves up, then, your stop loss will move up as well, and it protects you from the downside. Okay, my dip buys were GNOG, ZNOG last week, and probably the same thing again this week, guys. These are some that present some good buy-in opportunities right now. GNOG around the $19 to $20 range, ZNOG around the 90s, anywhere from 75 to 90 cents is a decent price to get in. I was really shocked that ZNOG didn't take off last week, because we got some news that they started drilling for oil in Israel, but people may be just waiting to see if they actually strike oil. When they strike oil, it's going to send it, make it go crazy. Hemp, basically another Biden administration play. I'm in this stock pretty heavy as well, and I've been wanting to buy more shares on it, but it's actually has continuously been going up for the past couple of weeks. So I'm going to wait and see if we get a pullback first, and if not, then I'm pretty much set. These last two are over-the-counter markets, so you have to buy them on TD Ameritrade or Fidelity. Can't get them on Robinhood or Webull. GNOG you can get on Webull, Robinhood, really any major platform. So that's all I got today, guys. Sorry this video was a little bit longer than normal, but we had a lot to cover. I like to try to keep my videos around the 10-minute mark. So if you found value in today's video, hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy our content. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can let you know every time we release new content. And if there's anything that you would like to see covered on the channel, please leave us a comment below. Other than that, we will see you in the next video.